Thanks for joining us here on today's show as we have breaking news. Derrick Henry is a member of the Baltimore Ravens, signing a 2-year, $16 million deal with up to $20 million in incentives and $9 million guaranteed. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. And I got to tell you, for the Baltimore Ravens, this is a home run. We've heard for weeks that the Baltimore Ravens wanted to sign a blue-chip caliber running back. And there were a number of options out there over the last few days, from the likes of Josh Jacobs to Saquon Barkley, but those guys got paid pretty fast, and that left the Ravens basically with one option. But at the end of the day, it was the guy they had their eyes set on the entire time, Derrick Henry, and they get their guy. And when you look at the Baltimore Ravens offense, of what they want to do, what their identity is a physical run-first football team. Derrick Henry fits that mold. If I were to look at a player and say, what does a Baltimore Raven look like? I would say Derrick Henry. He embodies everything that you think of when you talk about toughness, the will to win, and just the durability, the way that he has fought throughout his career. Derrick Henry just feels like he belongs with what the Baltimore Ravens want to do. And then even taking that a step further, think about what the Baltimore Ravens rushing attack looks like. Gus Edwards is gone. J.K. Dobbins is likely gone. You have Justice Hill and Keaton Mitchell there. Keaton Mitchell will come back from the injury that he suffered there towards the end of this past year. And his yards per carry was 8+ this past season. Brings that speed that's just incredible, what he can do down the field. You get the thunder and lightning combination of sorts. This is a win. This is a win, and I got high hopes for the Ravens. We'll talk more in just a second. How would you grade the signing? A, B, C, D, or F? Anything less than an A, you're a hater. Grade the signing for me in the comment section. Let us know what you think of this move by the Baltimore Ravens here. So the way I look at what the Ravens are going to do now, with adding Derrick Henry into the mix with this rushing attack, this is going to take the pressure off the run game of Lamar Jackson. What we saw from Lamar towards the end of 2023, after the injury to Keaton Mitchell, J.K. Dobbins, of course, went down week 1, and guys were getting banged up left and right. Lamar kind of went back to his older self of taking on an increased load in the rushing attack and ended up leading the team in rushing. Now as Lamar Jackson gets a year older, and we know that Todd Monken wants Lamar Jackson to become more of a pocket quarterback, or at least run a little less, you got a guy in Derrick Henry that you can trust. And I think that's been one of the issues that you've looked at with the Baltimore Ravens over the last few years of why they haven't had that established RB1 of sorts, why Lamar has run so much and led to injuries, is there hasn't been a running back they can trust. And when you look at the numbers at Derrick Henry, yeah, that's a guy that you can trust. And look at, here's some of the key playmakers that the Ravens are going to have here. Lamar Jackson, the 2-time MVP, the future first ballot Hall of Famer, and then another future first ballot Hall of Famer in Derrick Henry. Zay Flowers, who was one of the best rookie receivers in football, who should take another step forward in 2024. Rashad Bateman, who the Ravens feel high on, that he's going to have a nice bounce-back season. He's in a contract year as well. He's got something to prove. Oh, and there's another future Hall of Famer as well, and Mark Andrews as your starting tight end. And I didn't even mention Isaiah Likely as well, who looked really good when Mark Andrews went down. So this offense should be explosive. Year 2 of what Todd Monken is establishing, we saw tremendous growth from Lamar Jackson in the second half of 2023 with what he was becoming and fitting into the role of what Todd Monken was molding him in. And they're not done. I would think that there's more moves to go with this Ravens offense, but the expectation now, if you're the Baltimore Ravens, you came up a game short of getting to the Super Bowl last year. You had the best record in the AFC, right? You had the number 1 seed, home field advantage, all of that. But the Kansas City Chiefs stood in your way. In this type of move, this is a direct shot at the Kansas City Chiefs that says, we're coming for you. This is a shot that says, we are lining all our ducks in a row to put ourselves in the best position to go compete and win the AFC title. look, faces change, but expectations don't. And the expectation next year for the Baltimore Ravens is to get right back to where they were a season ago and Derrick Henry be the difference maker. Now, Todd Monken, John Harbaugh, run the damn football, please, in a playoff game. You got Derrick Henry. No excuses now. No excuses. Folks, we're talking about the Baltimore Ravens each and every day on Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. We are your free agency headquarters. We're closing in on 16,000 subscribers on the channel, less than 300 subs away. If you are a diehard Baltimore Ravens fan, this is the channel for you. And anytime they make a move throughout free agency or throughout this offseason, we're going to have you covered here on the channel. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/RavensTV. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment, so you're the first to know what goes on with the Baltimore Ravens. All right, so now with this move, what is next for the Baltimore Ravens at this point? Their cap space, they're a little over the cap with this move at the moment. And what we're going to see is some changes, right? Geno Stone's gone. He's with the Cincinnati Bengals. OBJ is not expected to be back. Gus Edwards is now with the Chargers here. Patrick Queen's not expected to be back. I think what you're hoping for if you're the Baltimore Ravens at this point, a move adding a guy like Derrick Henry and potentially another offensive weapon, the Ravens are going to lose a lot on their defense. No secret about it. When you have 20-plus free agents, not a ton of cap space, that's going to happen. So I think the goal for the Baltimore Ravens over the next few weeks is what can they do with the offense to make up for what they lose defensively. The Ravens had the best defense in all of football last season, right? If the defense steps back a bit, and let's say they go from first to fifth, okay, you can live with that if the offense takes their next step up to make up for the defense. And here's the deal. When you look at today's National Football League, this is an offense-first league. It's not defense that wins championships anymore. Hate to break it to you. It's an offensive league. Do the Ravens have the offensive horsepower to go toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs? That's what they're doing with this type of move to bring in Derrick Henry. And we've seen the running back injuries that have occurred over the last few seasons. The Ravens have had some of the worst luck when it comes to injuries at the running back position. From Gus to J.K. to Justice Hill, you name it, everybody's been banged up over the last couple of years. Now, with Derrick Henry coming in, if he goes down, Keaton Mitchell's not a bad option. Justice Hill's not a bad option. You've given yourself some breathing room of sorts. Now, let's see this Ravens team put it all together, and hopefully they got a chance to compete when January rolls around, that everybody's ready to go and that they compete for a high level. Who do you want the Ravens to sign next? Can't imagine they're done quite yet, that there's probably some more moves still to be made. Weigh in the comment section, let me know. Who would you like to see in Baltimore in 2024? Weigh in the comment section, let us know what you think. 2 years, $16 million, $9 million guaranteed, up to $20 million in potential incentives for Derrick Henry. And here's the thing, Derrick Henry probably could have gotten more money elsewhere, right? You look at the running back market, and the running back market kind of came back this year with guys like DeAndre Swift and Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley getting paid and getting multi-year deals. But Derrick Henry has made it known that his number one priority is to pursue a championship, to be a lead back on a championship caliber team. And bottom line is this, there was not a better team out there that gives Derrick Henry the opportunity that he's looking for than the Baltimore Ravens, bar none. This is the team that fit the mold of what exactly Derrick Henry was looking for. This was a match made in heaven. The Ravens needed a star physical running back to take them up to that next stop. Derrick Henry wanted to compete for championships and find an offense that fits him. This is a good marriage, and I have very high hopes. Shout out Panic at the Disco, that this is going to work for the Baltimore Ravens, bring in Derrick Henry, and this is going to work well for Derrick Henry. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Ravens Rundown. For the latest happenings in your favorite team all offseason long, especially throughout free agency, subscribe now. Help us reach that next milestone, 16,000 subscribers. Derrick Henry's a Raven. I'm fired up. You better be fired up. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.